What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zoe, No Days Off DFS, here to bring you that NBA slate breakdown for another 6-game slate. If you guys new here, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the content we're putting out over on the channel, and drop a like on the video if it helps you win some money. Now, hopefully you guys did pretty good yesterday. Wasn't a bad slate. For me, injuries really did suck. I had Sam Morrell as a core piece for me, and his flop kept me from just even cashing yesterday. So nonetheless, was good reads, stacking up on the Cavs value once again. That game, and then of course the real game to stack, like I said on the stream, which I should have did it, was that Utah Jazz and the Detroit Piston game, but I did not have enough pieces from that. Only I think I had 2 pieces from there, and it just wasn't enough. But Cade, Jaden Ivey, freaking Chris Dunn, Kelly Olynyk, all those guys. I want to say they all made the optimal lineup for the night. It was ridiculous. But it's DFS, if you grind this stuff out, then you guys definitely understand, you know how it is with it. And that's why it is literally daily fantasy sport. So looking at it, we got some injury news, of course, another slate where we're going to get some value. I definitely do like doing these videos more in the afternoon because, like I said, that value, that 12 noonish injury report that comes out, it definitely opens up a lot more stuff for us. And then, of course, right up at lock, where we get more of the information on the day, it really does help give a direction in regards to where we're going to go for the slate. So definitely something to pay attention to whenever you guys are building lines, and something that I've at least noticed myself. So honestly, looking at the slate, starting with the injury report, Toronto Raptors not really report. Philly, just pay attention if Melton's gonna be in or out. If Melton was to miss, then not really too sure. Maybe we might see Rocco could slide back into the starting lineup. They start Kelly at the 2, put Tobias at the 3, and put Rocco at the 4, or vice versa with Tobias and Rocco. Really kind of doesn't matter right there. But I would imagine they would put something with some size, considering that Toronto, they are kind of a big line with OG, Scotty, Siakam, and Poto out there. So just pay attention to that Melton news. Maybe we could get some value there, but really not too much to pay attention to. Denver, everything's good. AG, he's going to be playing. Brooklyn, no news release report for them. Dallas is, of course, where we're going to get a lot of the value on. All these guys over here for Dallas, Jaden Hardy, Tim Hardaway Jr., Derek Jones, Grant Williams, Dwight Powell, they are very limited. Just look at the injury report that they have. So you already know where the value for the day is going to be coming from. Dallas. Don't fade that value. That is what we're going to play. And we're going to figure out how to get different in other spots. So just straight up out the gate, that's pretty much the game plan on today's slate, is that right there. Pretty much I just gave you the blueprint to look at directly for what we're going to want to do on today's slate. Over here, Houston, looking at them, Tari Easton, game time decision, maybe in, maybe out. But if he's to miss, maybe it's going to open up some more minutes for like Tate or something like that. And Reggie Bullock, not really too worried about that. For the Hawks, no news to report. These same guys have been missing and been out. We already know what the rotation, everything's good for over there. Miami Heat, biggest thing is Jimmy Butler's going to be out, so we already know the usage is going to be spread around for Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo. Those 2 guys are going to have it. And as you can see, cover photo, I have a really good hot take in regards to playing Bam today. Washington, they played last night back to back. They lost that game when they should have won. No, wait, no, they won that game going up against Portland. For a second, they were about to lose it. They definitely were giving it up, because Portland came back storming strong in that second half. It was beautiful. Golden State Warriors, for them, Pod, he's a game time decision. If he's out, definitely something to pay attention to. We might see a shakeup. Probably they'll put Wiggins back into the starting lineup or something like that. So definitely pay attention to that. If you're messing with anything from this late night game right here, this game has more of a blowout risk than I think the Kings and the Suns game. For the Suns, biggest thing is the fact that Yusuf Nurkic is going to be out, so we're going to see maybe Metu or someone else fill in at that center position for them. And then over here for the Kings, really just JaVale McGee, Malik Monk, both of those guys are bench players. McGee, not so much more. Monk is definitely what I want to pay attention to in regards to who's going to maybe, like, we'll see Davion Mitchell. We'll get some more backup run over here for the Kings. So heading over to the DraftKings, the site that played most on the site. We haven't gotten the takedown yet for the season, but you know what? I know it's going to come eventually. We will get there, and it's going to happen. And I'm telling you guys, I'm going to plaster it all over this place. You guys are going to see it. And if you guys are watching this video, then you guys are going to know the blueprint and the plan on how we got there. And it's just a consistency. That's the whole thing with DFS. As a gambler, I know we all see that one little meme where it's like the moment that you stop gambling, the moment that you stop chasing those wins is right before you're gonna actually hit big. So that's kind of probably a weird mentality, and that's probably why a lot of us are degenerates and we blow money sitting here gambling because we're like, oh, I'm gonna hit big, so on and so forth. But hey, one day I'm gonna get that takedown, and I just always think back to the time when I took down in the NFL, getting that big 17,000 win for that NFL Sunday. Like if I just decided, hey, I'm not gonna play NFL today, I would have never got that. So definitely something to just keep in mind. You know, you don't gotta play all these big contests, stuff like that. You can do a lottery ticket, like I sometimes do, especially for the NFL. I don't play as heavy on the NFL. I do my lottery ticket, which is just my $20 into that 1 mil, that milli maker right there. Say, hey, this is my lottery ticket for the week. Boom, let's go. All right. Enough bullshit talking about me and all that stuff. Let's go ahead. Let's break this slate down. Looking at it, I'll go game by game real quick. Talking over some key points for each one of these teams, and then go back to pretty much building on how I think we should go ahead and build for today's slate. Starting on the Toronto Raptors side, looking at them, really not too bad. You could definitely go a couple of different ways with a couple of players over here. I don't mind maybe looking at someone like OG Anunoby, especially if the regular starters or something like that isn't there. Really a GPP play right here. Of course, as you look through his game logs, not really the prettiest thing in the world when you look and you see what OG has done. When he played going up against the 76ers in one of the two games that they played, he dropped 24 fantasy points. So 6,200, not bad. I do have some interest in Scotty Barnes, of course, as always, because Scotty has such a high usage, has been a very good player for them. He's dropped 46 fantasy points in both of the games that he played going up against 76ers already earlier this season. So don't mind going with Scotty. Definitely do think the game could possibly be close. Both games, both times, the 76ers won by 114. They didn't necessarily blow them out. The second game was a bit more of a blowout versus the first one, and that was, of course, playing on 76ers home court. So take that into consideration. But Scotty, don't mind him, but really there's no one necessarily that I feel like I have to pay or want to get up to on this side of the game. But these players right here, I would probably just go to Scotty. Would definitely be more consideration. OG as a GVP, a possible play. Jakob, if you think he keeps himself out of foul trouble. But if you think that Poto does get into foul trouble, I do like the value that we could possibly come down here and get to Precious Achiuwa down here. We know he's, like I said last time, he's going to play that 17 to 20-ish minutes a night out there. First game, he played 18 minutes to drop 20 fantasy points. So right in line to what he's been getting and what he's been doing on the slate. Over here on the 76ers side, to be very honest with you, it's Joel Embiid all day, every day. Originally, Joel was the main player that I was going to look to and wanted to play on today's slate, but taking a hot take and instead paying down a little bit at the center position because I think that we can with going with Bam. He's kind of like my main set I want to build around, but Joel, he's been on a tear, honestly, just looking at what he's done over the last several games, and in the two games that he's played going up against the Toronto Raptors, 6'3", 56 fantasy points. So really good spot. Again, if you could pay up to him, as between him and Nurk as the two main big studs that you want to look at and possibly play on today's slate. I do like Joel Embiid. Tyrese Maxey, kind of in the same boat. First game popped off his 7 fantasy points. Second game, only 28. He's come down to earth just a little bit over a little bit of the time spent in regards to the hot shooting and scoring that he's had. But Maxey, 8-7, don't mind it if you're trying to get something. If you don't want to pay it for Embiid or you're doing like what I'm doing and more than likely going with Bam over Embiid on today's slate, maybe you want to come down for Tyrese Maxey. If Melton does miss, the ball should be in Maxey's hand a little bit more, possible more assists and things like that for him. So really do like Maxey right there at that position and spot. And then with Kelly Oubre in the starting lineup and actually getting his minutes, he's back out there. It's only going to be a matter of time before he actually has that big blow up game. If you guys remember, before he got injured, Kelly was popping off. And in those two games that he played against Toronto already this season, 33 fantasy points in both of those games. So really don't mind getting a buy low spot for Kelly Oubre sitting at 6-1. That's a direct pivot off of OG Anunoby that I had mentioned on the first side, and really not really going to pay too much attention to the bench. They run a pretty tight rotation over there for the 76ers. So no reason to get cute. Over on the Denver side, Denver taking on Brooklyn. The Joker centers going up against Brooklyn. We're going to continue to do that. We've been doing that for the past 7 years. Just looking at it on the road, looking like the Joker, if he doesn't get himself tossed out of the game, he's been pretty good, productive. Popped off for 31 points in that last game against the Raptors. So again, as you see, Embiid's in the exact same spot to be able to do the exact same thing. Probably drop 60 plus fantasy points. Definitely don't hate it, don't mind it. Like I said, if you're paying up for a center, it'll definitely be between the Joker and Embiid is the way I believe that the field is most likely going to go. Right now, I'm seeing 18% as a possible ownership for the Joker on today's slate. So really don't mind that. But coming out off the Joker, I really do like the upside and possibility for Michael Porter Jr. This position spot, we've seen opposing small forwards going up against them have done very well so far this season. They're averaging right around 35 to 40-ish fantasy points out here, and all it takes is for MPJ just to go ahead and get hot, stroking it from deep. So I really do like the value we can come out here and get for him at 6,300. Definitely a play. Or if you want to go to, and I know he's been playing pretty well, long as he's in, which he is trending to actually play, Aaron Gordon, he's been looking very well, very spry over his last couple games. I'm not gonna say he has triple-double upside, but definitely double-double if he wants to get there. If the game stays close with the Nets, I definitely can see him being able to pop off and actually do that. I do like him here. And then last but not least is going to be my boy KCP. Cam Thomas doesn't really play too much defense, and we know the block steal upside is definitely going to be there for him in regards to the defensive stats, as you can see the last game out. But 3-and-D player, the scoring, it could be there as long as he's knocking down his shots. You know, he's going to take a couple of threes. I really do like that. The upside for him is definitely going to be there. I will say that he definitely makes it as a value play that I could look to on today's slate. Not a must play, but definitely someone I would consider if I'm looking at a below 5K shooting guard or guard play that I want to get to on today's slate. Definitely a possibility. Now, if you think the game blows out, of course, Peyton Watson, he's been playing really well over his last several games. At least 38, 18, 28, 22 fantasy points, and at least seeing over 15 minutes a game. So another value play that you could possibly go to on the slate. Not a must, but definitely something that you can consider. Over here on the Brooklyn side, for these guys, really, I'm not going to lie, Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson, they've really let me down over the last several times. I'm really kind of shying away from even wanting to play anyone from the Nets. I'd rather take a lot of unders and from betting props and stuff on them right now, just because Mikal, he's not looking too hot in regards to his scoring or anything that he's doing out there for the Nets, and I don't think that this matchup is going to benefit him in any way, shape, or form where he's going to actually be able to bounce back and do that. Same thing for Cam. Cam coming off of a decent game, 30 points, 30 fantasy points in the last game against New York, but the matchup for both of these guys is not going to be the greatest here. The matchup period up and down the roster isn't the greatest. For some reason, out of everybody, it's showing that Claxton has the best matchup in regards to going up against the Joker. Maybe that's just because Joker got thrown out of a couple of games. He's been pretty productive in his time and his minutes out there. Playing against them earlier this season, he played 17 minutes, gave us 23 fantasy points. So not bad. If you want to definitely a buy low GPP punt play or something like that, I could definitely see you going with the Claxton, but he's definitely not a must. And I kind of see myself more fading the Brooklyn Nets than anything on today's slate. All right, coming over here, going to the Atlanta Hawks taking the Miami Heat. This game definitely I expected to be close. It has a decent total on it, nonetheless. Trae Young, he's up there, 9-9. I played Trae on the last slate that they were on, popped off for 60 fantasy points out there for me. I definitely don't hate him. No, actually, it was against Detroit. He popped off for 59.5 fantasy points last time out there. I don't hate going to Trae, but I will admit, the moment that I want to go and play DeJounte Murray is going to be when Trae is going to actually pop off, and vice versa. Murray's been pretty consistent, at least giving us over 30 fantasy points each game, and honestly, he has the best matchup between him and Trae on today's slate. Early in the season, playing against him, 36 minutes, dropped 45 fantasy points. Definitely feel like he's in a spot to be able to repeat that. Already got him listed as a prop play on today's slate. I really do like his points and rebounds as possible plays that you can take. I really do like him running him and more than likely Bam as a run back with these two on the slate. Really do like the ping pong that I can get getting two pieces from here. Now, outside of that, if you want to mess with anything else, DeAndre Hunter will be a play. I don't mind. 5,600, decent spot right here. We know he's going to go up against that Caleb Martin or that Jaime Jaquez defense. So he's one of those guys. I'm not too worried about Jaime's defense, but definitely Caleb Martin, better defender, but definitely Hunter should be able to go out there, have a decent game. Only 17.25 fantasy points last time out in 28 minutes. Granted, that was going up against the Houston Rockets, who are actually a pretty decent defensive team, but this is Miami Heat without Jimmy Butler. Still a good defensive team, but not anything that scares me. Going over to the other side, looking at the Miami Heat. Now, with no Jimmy Butler, there's a lot of usage to go around. The Atlanta Hawks, they're not the greatest defensive team in the world, so that's why I really do have a lot of interest in these guys over here. Bam, Jaime, Caleb Martin, and Tyler Hero. All these guys really top the list for me in regards to players I don't want to get to. Kyle Lowry, more low on the totem pole. Josh Richardson, I really have sworn I will never play that man again, just because every single time I play him, he does not jack shit, diddly billy squat. So just looking at it from the perspective, I really do like the spot for Bam. Bam, back after injury, just looking at the game logs. Minnesota, Twin Towers, going up against Rudy Gobert and Karl-Anthony Towns, dropped 40 fantasy points. Orlando, another solid defensive team, slower paced team, dropped 31.25 fantasy points in 30 minutes. So pretty much a pretty good fantasy point per minute. Now, this is going to be the thing. I'm hyping up Bam, and Bam, I swear to Billy Bob Sunjahuda, if you let me down, I'm going to be so pissed about it, because I really do like this spot for Bam. Trying to find it. Going up against Atlanta early this season, he played 39 minutes in the game, dropped 61.25 fantasy points. That right there for the value I can get for him at 9.2. You're telling me that he has a ceiling today pretty much close to what we can get for an Embiid who's sitting at the highest price on today's slate at 11.2. So I really do like the savings that I can get, the 2,000 savings I can get by coming down to playing a play like Bam and getting different, where I really do feel like everyone's going to be going instead playing the Embiids on today's slate or the Joker, when I can come down and get a single digit Bam Adebayo. This is how you get yourself different and possibly be able to take down a slate. You're playing your Dallas value. You're going ahead and you're playing your contrarian play in Bam Adebayo, who has single digit ownership in a smash spot, just like Joel and just like a high usage Joker. Boom, you have it right there, that middle ground. That allows you to get one of those better mid-tier stud players. Maybe you could put in 2 or 3 more studs into your line by going with that. But I really do like Bam here, and I also do like Tyler Hero. Since he's come back, the usage has been up there for him, and also just the facilitating everything that he brings, even though playing with Kyle Lowry. But we already know Hero, he's going to chuck, and he has been chucking 35 and 48 fantasy points since he's come back from his injury. Don't mind going to Tyler Hero if you don't want to play the Bam Adebayo play. And like I said, Jaime Jaquez, he just has to knock down the shots. When he knocks down the shots, he looks very well. Back-to-back dud games for him. Honestly, again, 2 tougher matchups. This matchup here going up against the Atlanta Hawks is definitely going to be a much better one for him. When he played against them early in the season, 38 minutes, dropped 31.25 fantasy points. So really do like the upside. Definitely a bounce back spot for him. And then, like I said, Caleb Martin, I know he didn't play against the Hawks earlier this season, but again, 2 tough matchups that they're coming off of. So this is definitely a buy low spot on the Miami Heat, and what should be a competitive and a closer game that I really do feel like could be the game of the night, and everyone's going to be focused on all these other games. We can get some really great ownership over here on the Miami Heat side of things. All right, going over to Dallas. Like I said, this is where we're going to get a lot of our value here on today's slate with all the players that they have missing in. Honestly, I'm going to take a second. I'm going to count actually how many players they actually have over here for Dallas. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm not even sure if these guys are actually with the team right here, the Prospers and all these other guys. But just looking at on my other screen. So primarily, we already looked at what could possibly be the starting lineup over here for Dallas. Jaden Hardy, Tim Hardaway Jr., Derrick Jones Jr., Grant Williams, and Dwight Powell. It's not a bad matchup going up against the Houston Rockets, as Houston, they do play much better at home. Definitely going to be a tough matchup. And I think I'd rather go more with the young guys if I am going to play anything from Dallas, because I do feel like playing players like Tim Hardaway Jr., 6,100, vet, not necessarily if the game blows out, gets out of hand, he's not going to see those minutes. He's not going to be out there on the court. They're going to go ahead and they're going to let the guys like maybe Jaden Hardy go out there and get some extra run. Prosper, AJ Lawson might be guys that we actually see get more run. But being honest, if Steph Curry's going to be out, that's just going to be another blow, another hit for them out there. I do see that they're going to have to give Rashawn Holmes some minutes, some time, just because they're backup bigs. They're pretty much they're out. Jeff Green's gone. Maxi Kepler's gone. Lively's out. All you have is Dwight Powell and Grant Williams. And once Powell possibly gets himself into foul trouble or something like that, he's not going to be out there. He's not going to play those minutes. He's not going to be out there. So really just looking at it, once we get a clear picture if Steph Curry's going to be out, I will say out of all of them, I will consider Jaden Hardy as one, just because he should see the burn, he should see the minutes, and just the upside production that we could possibly get from him, it will be there. Tim Hardaway Jr., I like him for GPPs. Definitely the matchup, again, like I said, is going to be there for him, especially at the 2. We've seen it, opposing shooting guards have done decent, and if Tim gets hot, he'll be a big reason why they actually stay in this game and can actually make it close. And then with all the shots and everything to go around, not the most prolific player to consider. He is undersized for his position, but Grant Williams, 4,700, he's gonna have to actually see more shots. He's gonna chuck it from 3. Maybe he can get in there, actually rebound. They're gonna need him out there, just period, in regards to what he can actually maybe bring or do. As you can see, he does have the upside to go ahead and get us like a 20-ish 40 plus fantasy. Well, I'm not gonna say 40 plus, but I know he has it from his Boston days. But at least give us like a 20 to 30-ish fantasy points type game. So Grant Williams, don't mind him. And then again, like I said, Dwight Powell going up against Shengoat, whatever you want to call him. Definitely you can consider it, but it is not pretty at all for it. But I'll get a better picture of Dallas whenever we get closer to lock, and we'll definitely put that on the Dub Club whenever I do upload the core. Now over here for the Houston Rockets side, there's a plethora of ways that we can go over here for them. If you think that Dallas can keep it close, definitely, of course, the Freddie V's, who's popped off for, I want to say he had 60 plus, 63 fantasy points to 71 fantasy points in back-to-back games. Really do not mind or hate that. And like I said, Freddie V, the main guard over there for the Houston Rockets, popped off against Atlanta. Tyler Hero. You need a hero. All right, but Freddie V, Şengün, Jabari Smith Jr., all these guys, prime position, prime spots, really don't mind or hate any of them. If I have to say, if Tari Eason does miss, then of course, like I said, that is going to give me some more interest in Deshaun Tate off the bench. Now, if you think that Dallas gets blown out, then I see that this would be a spot that we're going to want to look at players like Aaron Holiday as possible value. Maybe he'll go out there, he'll play the 26 or maybe close to 30 plus minutes out there. Definitely a running gunner can score if he gets hot from three like he did going up against my Thunder. Definitely position a spot that you can go to. Deshaun Tate, of course, I already said in regards to him would be a play that I would look to, but outside of that, kind of hard to really just decipher and go with. I would just stick with the studs like Jabari Smith Jr., Şengün, Fred VanVleet be the main guys I want to look to over there. All right. Coming over here for the Phoenix Suns taking on the Sacramento Kings. This should be a good game. Hopefully it stays and be a close game. Might do a game stack for this game as a prop ticket for later on. But with no Nurk out, I think that the rebounding chances and stuff like that for KD is going to go up. Do like KD. He's one of the top studs you can go to and pay up for on today's slate. If you can get there, definitely go ahead. Definitely do like him over Devin Booker. I'm not scared of Keagle's defense. I'm not scared of Harrison Barnes' defense. Not too worried about either one of those guys, and he just grades out as a really great play. And then of course Devin Booker himself, you want to pay up for a guard, don't hate that. But when we have the Tyrese Maxey, Fred VanVleet, the Tyler Heroes, DeJounte Murray's on the slate, I don't see a need to go to Devin Booker on the slate at all. Like I said, we already know that Nurk is going to be out, so we know that Drew Eubanks should get some burn, some run out there. 17 minutes in the last game, and like we've said before, he's a very good fantasy point per minute producer, so I really do like him. And then if they really do actually put Metu at the center position and start him, I don't mind. When he's gotten those 20 plus minutes, when he's been out there with them, with the starters, he's very productive. So at 3,500, he's definitely going to grade out as another one of those top value plays that you can go to on today's slate. And the good thing about him is that he is power forward eligible, so he will not take up one of your slots at the center position. So definitely can go ahead and slide Metu in. Boom, power forward. I like that. Lets me go ahead and get my Bam Adebayo and keeps my util spot open instead of having to go center like that on today's slate. Outside of that, last one, I'll be remiss if I don't talk about him. I know a lot of people don't like clicking on his name, but Grayson Allen, another player I really do like in the prop scene would be Grayson Allen. His fantasy points, he's been very good, filling in for Bradley Beal, just being out, kind of a Swiss Army knife. And as long as they keep his prop right around that 24, 25, 26 fantasy point range, I really do like the upside that he brings because he does tend to get a couple of steals out there, very good on the defensive side. And if you know anything, Sacramento can be a little bit turnover prone when they're out there. Going over here to the Kings side, the Kings playing at home. I will say De'Aaron Fox is a much better player at home. I do like Fox in this situation in the spot. Definitely a upside position spot for him to go out here and smash going up against Devin Booker. Swiper, we know he can go out there and do. Points, I liked his point prop when it was sitting at the 29.5. A little bit high, but definitely doable for De'Aaron Fox and what he does. And definitely, if you want to take something, if they have his 3-point attempts at a low position spot, I wouldn't mind taking his 3-point attempts as another play that you can go with. Outside of Fox, everyone else over here, if Malik Monk wants to miss, like I said, you can get some value in coming down to Davion Mitchell because he should see some of that burn and run off the bench, see an uptick in his minutes. Now, remember, he's not the greatest fantasy point per minute producer, but definitely something you can look to. And then Keon Ellis, he's going to see a lot more of the ball handling duties in that second unit with De'Aaron Fox being out, and he's a much better fantasy point per minute producer, but 4,200 if you want to mess with that. And then it's a bonus. I don't mind, don't hate him, but not a must for me on the slate. Like I said, 9-4. I'd rather just go ahead and go to my Bam play that I'm on for today's slate. And then everyone else, not really too interested. Washington, I'm going to be very honest. Unless you think they can keep it close, I'm kind of going to just be fading Washington. I have no need, no wants, or anything for any of these guys. And then over here on the Golden State Warriors side, Curry, good spot, good play. Klay Thompson, good spot, good play. If Paul was to miss, then we should see maybe, like I said, they might put Wiggins back in the starting lineup. Or if they put Chris Paul, I don't mind Chris. Definitely if he starts, he's going to play 30 plus minutes. That's a pretty good spot. But I have a lot of interest in like the Jackson Davis Jr., who's looked very good over these last several games. Definitely would be a value play, especially if Paul was to miss. But if you think blowout, like kind of like I do, 4,600, I would definitely play it for Tracy Jackson Davis, just to get a piece for the late night hammer, and just the upside, as you can see, is definitely going to be there for him. And if you need a prime example, just look at what Jeremy Grant and them just did, and company just did, literally going up against them. And then again, Kevon Looney, good spot for him as well. Opposing centers have done very well going up against the Washington Wizards. They're just bleeding points, period, up and down the darn chart. Definitely would be a really good spot. I'm not gonna lie, really good spot to take some first half fantasy points, PRA, and stuff like that for them on the Golden State Warriors side, and look at maybe like one or two that you want to take from Washington as possible plays right there. But I really would check that out, because this is gonna be a fast-paced game, and like we said, we know Washington does not play any defense. I understand this is gonna be Jordan Poole going back, playing in the Bay or whatever the heck, so on and so forth. If he comes out and you believe in the revenge narrative type things, you think that he's going to be able to pop off and do what he does, then okay, definitely. Maybe that might be worth a play on today's slate, just getting that revenge factor type thing for Jordan Poole. And it might be a pool party. Very true. It just might be a pool party. But this just has blowout written all over it. I'm probably won't touch it, but the GPP side of me, I might entertain the fact of, you know what, Jordan Poole might actually stick it to him. Last night played 34 minutes, 4 of 13, so maybe he was just saving himself for today, going back to the Dubs and gonna drop a career high 45 points on tonight. So yeah, all right guys, this is gonna be it for me. Hopefully you guys like the longer videos back again. Again, I'll check the analytics. If you guys are actually watching it, then maybe I'll keep it, but if not, I'll go back down to my little 12-15 minute videos to just keep you guys' attention span. Hopefully you guys enjoyed everything. And before I get out of here, I would like to say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's to you guys, especially if content fluctuates, especially with the holiday time being around. I will say this, if you guys are not inside the Discord, definitely check that out. Sign up, join us inside the Discord. Every Sunday for NFL, I've been doing the where I stake a line. Right now we have $75 going for our line that we're posting for Sunday. Pretty much what it is, I asked the community, hey, give me some plays that you guys want to go into. The first 6 people that actually give me a play, I will play it for you. I'll put it all into a 6-ticket play, and if it cashes out, full 6 out of 6 cashes out, boom, no problem. I will take that money and it will be divvied up between the 6 people that actually played. And right now the pool is at $75, 75. So first we started out with 50, and we bumped it. It got bumped up to 75 because in our week 1, or well, the week that we played it the first time, we hit, I want to say, 4 out of the 5 picks that we played, because one of them pushed. So definitely check that out. Join if you guys would like some free money. It is free. I did it again last night for NBA and NFL and hockey and everything that was going on. And unfortunately, the guys didn't do so hot last night. It went 3 for 3. So definitely check that out if you guys would like some free money. All right, guys, that's gonna be it for me. Peace.